Howdy, folks. I'm the whole city of Toronto,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for leaving a fake positive pregnancy test in the bedroom to catch my husband's mom snooping? My mother in law moved in with us a month ago. I began to notice that my stuff in the bedroom being touched, furniture rearranged, and stuff moved, etc. I felt like I was going crazy because my husband is the only one who has access to the bedroom and he usually doesn't touch or come near my things. I figured it must be his mom walking in and snooping on my personal things. I told my husband and he said that his mother would never. And I had a huge hunch, but I couldn't install a cam in the bedroom to catch her in the act. So I got me one of those fake positive pregnancy tests and I threw it in the bedroom trash can. Note that the trash can was placed in the corner near the closet. Literally the next day, after I got to work, I got tons of calls and texts from my in laws congratulating me for my pregnancy. My husband came over to my workplace and was all worked up about it and asking since when was I pregnant and why I didn't tell him. I asked how he found out, and he said that his mom found the positive test in the trash can in the bedroom. I asked him if his answer just confirmed that she's been snooping in the bedroom all along. And he had a realization moment, but demanded that we stick to the bigger issue. I said that there was no bigger issue because the positive test was fake and this whole thing was done to expose my mother in law's snooping. He was not convinced. He had me take an actual test right in front of him, and he was livid, asking how I could lie about such a thing and break his mom's heart, since I know very well that she has been longing for kids. I got a lot of people angry at me because of this. His mom and his family are now calling me a liar and a manipulator. Am I the jerk? Important note, nothing gets taken or goes missing from the bedroom, just to be clear. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, but do not have kids with this man and
Yeah.
seriously reconsider your relationship.
Yeah, he is taking his mother's side, and this is just unacceptable.
Like, she has repeatedly invaded your
Yes.
privacy. You have concrete proof that she invaded, not only invaded your privacy, but also pregnancy is a very
Oh,
private
yeah.
and personal thing. And she didn't bother contacting you. She just went and announced it to the
Exactly.
entire family.
Yeah, and I think especially with, early pregnancies, they can miscarry pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was a really poorly done thing on her part. Like you just don't go and reveal people's medical business.
Yeah, well, your husband should have been irate at his mother for
Oh yeah.
invading your and his privacy to this degree.
Yeah.
And
And
it,
also the whole forcing you to
yeah,
take a test
mm-hmm,
in front of him.
mm-hmm.
How controlling do you need to be to do something like that? Making demands out of your wife and not even and thinking that she might fake the test in front of you, or not even giving her that kind of
Mm-hmm.
privacy. I think it was just gross and disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that you have a husband and a mother-in-law problem for sure. I don't think that you're in the wrong here. And anyone who's calling you a liar and a manipulator, you didn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
You never said that was your test. You could have had someone over at your house, a friend, and had them also have that test, right? Or said that you disposed of a friend's test, and because they didn't want to put it in their bathroom trash. There are plenty of reasons why you might have had that, but the important thing is you never lied. You just planted a fake pregnancy test in your trash can, and your mother in law did all of the work.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't think that you're the jerk, OP. And I think that this is really a terrible situation. Oh, and one more thing. One more thing. Check your protection. And
Mm.
if you are actively
Using contraception.
using contraception, then this is a pretty harrowing thing right now, because if she's willing to go in and snoop and look in the trash and she's expecting something like a pregnancy test, then
She
she
may
may.
sabotage your birth control.
Yeah, so I would definitely make sure your birth control is in order. And yeah,
And get out of this house.
yeah,
Really, like she's gonna keep invading your privacy. Your husband doesn't care. Like he's not a good partner.
yeah,
You do not need this.
exactly. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And baby Margaret says, not the jerk, but ordering a lock for the door and kicking mother in law out seems easier. If you were pregnant, how dare she announce it? So many red flags. One of you needs to go, and it shouldn't have to be you. And OP replies, the lock is an issue because my husband wants access to the room at random times, and we only have one key. I don't have time to lock and unlock the door all day long, so not a sufficient solution if you ask me. She shouldn't have to lock her door either,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Although, why hasn't he just made a copy of the key if he really needs to get in and out?
Yeah. All right, folks. Our next letter, speaking of bad partners, is titled, am I the jerk for saying that I can't do any chores in December and following through? I'm a 30-year-old female and I run a small online business from home. November and December are my busiest time of the year when I make a lot of money that allows me to work less during the rest of the year. I've been doing this since I was 25, so I've got a decent idea of what I can and cannot do. And focusing on work only 1 or 2 months is a sacrifice that I'm willing to make to chill for the rest of the year. This year, I've moved in with my boyfriend, a 35-year-old male, and well, technically he moved in with me because I own the house, so it was a no-brainer for him to move in with me. We split the chores half and half. He works full time, 37.5 hours a week. When he moved in, I had a talk with him, letting him know that I can't do any chores in November and December, and asked if he could pick up the slack because I'm physically unable to do any chores, as I can be working anywhere between 12 to 18 hours a day. I take a full January to decompress. He said that he doubted that I worked that much, but we'll see. I asked again in September and October to make sure that he was aware that I won't be doing anything. I meal prepped in advance, and I felt like he kind of dismissed me. Mid November, we had an argument about my chores not being done, and I reminded him of what I told him. He said that I thought that I wasn't being serious and told me that there's no way he would do 100% of the chores because he's working too. I said, fine, don't do my chores. They can wait until I have time. That's how it was when I lived alone, no problem. I don't make as much of a mess, anyways. He wasn't happy but dropped it. We haven't seen each other as much because I've been working so much, but he's been more and more angry and blew up at me today regarding the chores. He said that I have to do a better job at balancing my work life and to grow up because the house was a mess. I told him that if it was a mess, it was his fault because I barely leave my office. He called me a lazy bee, and I told him, okay, I don't have time for arguing, and I went back to working. He stood in front of my locked door, shouting about how he couldn't believe that I was being so serious about this and not doing my chores, as it was a jerk move to leave it all to him. He thinks that I'm a major jerk for basically disappearing for 2 months and following through with not doing any chores. Am I really the jerk for saying that I won't do any chores and following through? Sorry for any typos, I'm on mobile and my autocorrect hates me. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. You told him what's up. He didn't believe you.
This is just such an odd situation in the respect that OP's literally set out the expectation well in advance and said, look, I am not going to do chores in November or December. And then she didn't even say that he had to do those chores. She just said, I am not going to do my chores right now. I'll do them later when I have time. You can just let them be. And yeah, it's a pretty awful situation because he just does not seem like a good partner in this
Mm-hmm.
respect. Like maybe she would have more time to do chores if he would do stuff like help her out with her business. Maybe they could arrange to do that, or maybe he could just do more chores while she's working her insane hours, right?
Right. Well, that's kind of the thing. That It's like people go through busy times and slower
Mm-hmm.
times. And so maybe you'd pick up more chores in January
Yeah.
after you've had some time to decompress. instead of, when he handles the November, December, like there's
Exactly, yeah.
ways to balance things.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 50-50 all of the time, but it should balance out to that problem. So that's my thoughts. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And off the cuff mandate says, I think that if you're not going to do any chores for 1/6 of the year, then you need to make up for that. Offering to do all of the chores in January and February would be fair, or offering to do a greater share of chores, 60-40 split for the rest of the year, would also be fair. If you just expect him to tolerate you not cleaning up after yourself for 60 days straight and make no effort to make up for that, then yes, you're the jerk. And OP replies, I clean up after myself. I don't make a mess in general, and I meal prepped in advance. I load the dishwasher after I eat, and I do my essential laundry. I don't have time to make any more of a mess. And Acrobat Bit 48 46 says, everyone's in the wrong here unless you're going to do all the chores in January to make up for putting off the entire burden on him. OP replies, I typically do a deep clean in January. He earns a lot less than I do, although we split the bills evenly. I cover all of our fun expenses, so he benefits from my work as well. And Real Akuma 1 says, not the jerk. Also, if my significant other called me a B, that would be the end of that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, for your next relationship, asking someone else to handle all the chores for 2 months is probably not a great strategy long term. I would think that I would come up with a new compromise. For example, you could take 100% of the chores in January and February to even it out, or could you have a cleaner stop by weekly? Could you meal prep for both of you for the month and have the cooking be your contribution for those months? You know your life better than me, so just thinking through how it could work with your next partner. And OP replies, I do a deep clean in January and I meal prep in October for 2 months so I don't have to cook. I load the dishwasher after I eat. I would have been fine with hiring a cleaning person, but never needed one as I'm not a messy person. But after he moved in, the mess got a lot worse. If he's actually causing more of a mess and expecting OP to clean up after him, then OP may not even have expected that it would have been this big of a deal for the chores. So she may have thought that this would have been a reasonable split because she did all of her meal prep. She still does some essential chores, but she doesn't really do any other deep kind of cleaning and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, and if they're splitting the chores 50-50, but he's creating a lot more work, then a 50-50 split may not be fair in the first place to
Yeah.
OP. Like, if he just, like, is one of those people who just leaves his stuff around or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, then it's creating an unbalanced distribution of work.
Yeah, it really does because OP would of course be better off in that case not having him
Hmm.
in the house. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here while Amber has a funny joke for us.
What is the best way to make a pair of trousers last?
The best way to make a pair of trousers last is by putting them in preservatives. If you do that, like you put salt on them, then they'll last forever. Like you just gotta put them, in something like salt or sugar, or if you can them. I mean, canning them is a really good option. Like I've canned at least 5 pairs of trousers and they've lasted forever. So if you really, that's Brian's advice for today. If you want your trousers to last, can them.
I used preservatives. uh, make the jacket first.
Make the jacket first.
It took me a second to get that one, but I did get it eventually.
The best way to preserve trousers.
The best way to make a pair of trousers last.
Oh, to make a pair of trousers last. Oh, no. That's bad. That's very bad. Because I had like the whole preservative thing going on in my head. So the punchline I was thinking was like how to preserve a pair of trousers. But to make it last, yes, is a very literal interpretation of that. And I've got Mega Mint. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this Monday morning, not special, but kind of regular Reddit. I hope you're all having a great week so far, and I hope everything's going great for you. So, anyhow, we'll see you here all tomorrow.
Bye.